Welcome back to the Hall of Origins. We're still in the Five Nights at Freddy's wing, so let's take a look at another one of the franchise's most iconic characters. Bonnie the Bunny, the guitarist of the group, and right-hand man, or rabbit, to Freddy Fazbear. Right away, the first thing that should be talked about is that the creator, Scott Cawthon, stated that Bonnie scared him the most out of the original cast, and even had real nightmares about the character while making the first game. Sometimes he would even jump scare himself as he was testing out Bonnie's AI. Bonnie was shown quite prominently in the game's trailer. Footage of him running down the hall as well as him removing his mask were shown. However, these two events never appeared in the game. Early on, there was confusion on Bonnie's color. Is he blue or purple? Canonically, he's supposed to be blue, but there would be some environmental lighting that would cause him to look purple, and this misconception went on for quite a while. With the plushies being made purple, the action figures were purple, heck, even when the movie was being worked on, Robert Bennett, lead designer of the costumes, was going to make Bonnie purple before Scott Cawthon corrected him. So yeah, the bunny's blue. Even though, yeah, he most of the time does look purple. In the first game, Bonnie could be seen as the tutorial character. He's the first one to leave the stage and gets you familiar with the game's controls. Pulling up the cameras to check on him, switching to the various speeds to find him, and closing the door when he's near. Bonnie hangs out on the left side of the building, showing up in rooms like parts and services, the custodial closet, and down the left hallway. Interesting enough, sometimes when you look at Cam 2B, you can see him twitching in a supernatural way. I think it's really fitting that he does this in the camera right outside your office to increase the tension you're already feeling. You know, with him being so close to you and all. However, if he does manage to make it into your office without you noticing, you will hear a faint gasping sound. It's been speculated that this sound is someone who had been stuffed into Bonnie's suit, clinging to life. Which leads to an interesting question. Who is it? Jeremy is the name of the child's soul who is inhabiting Bonnie. But at this point in the timeline, he had been dead for many years, so it's doubtful that he would still be able to make gasping noises, unless it's his ghost. The only other option would be that another security guard was put into the suit before you got there. Huh. It's a good thing it's not my job to figure out this stuff. Maybe I should give Tom over at Game Theory a call. Anyways, with the release of the second game a few months after the first, Bonnie's popularity greatly increased, and all of this was due to his new design. In this new Withered appearance, Bonnie looks like he got into a fight with a wrecking ball. It is stated that Bonnie and the rest of the original band are being used for spare parts for the brand new versions of themselves occupying the stage. Bonnie will sometimes come at you from the front hallway and even the side vent. Not sure how he's able to fit in there though. But if he makes it to your location, you have to quickly put on the mask, making him think you are one of the animatronics. Yeah, I wasn't fast enough.
It would seem that with this game, Scott didn't want there to be any confusion about Bonnie's color. In every shot Withered Bonnie appears in, with the exception of some camera feeds, he clearly is now consistently blue. You know, this whole color thing is actually kinda weird, because I think if you were to ask most FNAF fans what color Bonnie was, they would probably still say purple. Sorry to be going back to this argument, but it's kind of odd that it keeps coming up after Scott corrected everyone. Like, even the Silver Eyes graphic novel, which came out after all this, still portrayed Bonnie as purple. Alright, let's get back over to the video games. Like I said earlier, Bonnie is possessed by a kid named Jeremy, and in FNAF 3, you get the chance to set his soul free, as well as all the other kids, during the event called the Happiest Day. But even though Jeremy's soul was set free, we still continue to see our favorite purplish blue rabbit throughout the franchise. He would pop up again in FNAF World as one of your starter characters. He has 3 attacks at his disposal: Bite, Bash Jam, and Happy Jam. Bite basically does exactly what you think it does. Bash Jam sends a wave of musical notes to attack the enemies. And Happy Jam, it's a nice little Happy Jam. Just see all the notes going around healing your teammates? Ah, that's nice. That's a nice little Happy Jam. Yes, that. It does that.
And during the Halloween update, he co-starred in the minigame Foxy.exe, where all he must do is walk to the right and avoid, blurry cats for some reason, while Foxy drones in the background.
Listen to my voice, and you will find the key.
He would later appear again in Ultimate Custom Night, where now he shares Pirate Cove with Foxy. Bonnie will increasingly get more agitated the longer you watch him, and as a result, can disable the cameras. Relatable. I mean, I would get angry too if someone was continually watching me on a camera. You know what would have been really funny? If your cameras didn't go down right away, but Bonnie starts walking through the building with a baseball bat, and one by one he destroys each camera as he walks by them. That would have been hilarious. But I should also mention that this is the first time that we finally get to hear Bonnie speak, but it's in his withered appearance.
Time to face the consequences of your behavior.
When Help Wanted was released, one of the game's segments that was highly advertised was parts and services with Bonnie.
During this little mini-game, you have to listen to instructions on the proper way to repair Bonnie's guitar. It's in his throat. Nah, that's just where the music comes from. But if that's the case, it is weird that Fazbear Entertainment is using a real guitar when the music isn't even coming from it. But then again, Help Wanted is just a series of video games in Universe, so I guess it's all good. But yeah, the way to repair his guitar is to listen to the tune and then tighten the string that sounds off. Pretty simple, right? Yeah, except for when I lost when I took Bonnie's eye out in the wrong order. Now let's take a quick moment to talk about Bonnie's guitar, because I'm sure a lot of fans noticed that its design drastically changed from how it used to look in the first game and even the second game when Toy Bonnie had it. Bonnie's original guitar was known as a Gibson Flying V, a design that the company Gibson was very protective of, and at the time around when Help Wanted was being worked on, they were cracking down on others using this design. So I'm guessing to avoid any conflict with the Gibson company, Bonnie's guitar had to be changed from the V-shape to this new box design? You know what, that's a shame, because I think everyone loved the original design better.
Well done. That concludes your parts and services task. See you next time.
But during the remake of the first game segment, it is extremely cool to see the original Bonnie walk around in real time. And what's even cooler is the hard mode of FNAF 2, watching Withered Bonnie emerge from the shadows and strike a pose in the middle of the hallway. The only problem is, with how dark everything is, it makes it really hard to see him completely when he appears in the office. Also, watch this. Withered Bonnie is so fast he could just dart into the hallway. Did you see that? He was so fast there was even a motion blur. Like, to heck with Sonic and Superman, right? It's all about Withered Bonnie's speed. Toy Bonnie just walks by and is like, bro, I'm not going to tell everyone you're secretly the Flash. When FNAF Special Delivery was released, we once again saw classic Bonnie, but also a variety of skins. There was Chocolate Bonnie, Easter Bonnie, Blackheart Bonnie, and a variant of Chocolate Bonnie, Melted Chocolate Bonnie. Have they made a real Chocolate Bonnie for Easter? Because if not, someone needs to get on that. Now, during the advertisements for Security Breach, we got a series of cartoons called Freddy and Friends on Tour, and Bonnie was one of the star characters. He serves the role as the calm character, showing absolutely no reaction to basically, well, anything. But every group needs a level-headed character, right? I also love how you see him walking away in a transition, just like how the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons used to. Hey, cartoons are expensive, and you gotta reuse animation when you can. I also noticed the change in guitar up there. Yeah, that's still going on. Let's take a jump outside of the video games for a second and into live action with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. In the film, Bonnie was brought to life by two actors, Jade Kindar Martin, who was the performer inside the suit, and Sarah Oh, controlling the animatronic facial actions. The child whose soul resides in Bonnie goes unnamed in the film, but is portrayed by actor David Hudson Dottie. Even though Bonnie mostly shares scenes with the other cast, he does have a few standout moments, like when the guys come in to vandalize the place and Bonnie appears in the closet with Hank and then kills him off screen. Or the other moment that people remember the most, when he falls over after making a fort and gives a thumbs up that he's okay. He also has this cute moment with Abby when she gives him a drawing of a heart. He's just back there looking at it. Aww. And then there's of course when Abby gets shocked from strumming his guitar. Maybe that wouldn't have happened had it been a V-shaped flying Gibson instead of whatever this is. Sorry, I'll let it go. Bonnie might just be the secondary guy behind Freddy, but he still is a fan favorite. As the series continues to move forward, I hope we still get to see the original Bonnie. He sometimes gets overshadowed by other rabbits in the franchise, but I think people have a place in their hearts for this sometimes purple, sometimes blue animatronic bunny.